Celebrity chef and author Rocco DiSpirito loves lobster.
Lobster roll, the iconic American dish, should be all lobster.
You'd think what he's saying should be obvious. You order lobster, you get lobster, right? Not always. We tried out lobster dishes of every conceivable kind at 28 restaurants around the country. It may shock you to learn that in 35% of our samples, instead of lobster, we found cheap fish substitutes. At Red Lobster, the largest seafood chain in America, we tested the lobster bisque from 3 locations and scooped out the meat. Then we sent it off to a lab.
We do look at it carefully, but then the final answer is done by DNA analysis.
According to the lab, the lobster in one sample was actually langostino. 2 others had a combination of langostino and lobster. So what is langostino? This is a langostino, and it looks nothing like a lobster. As a matter of fact, it's more closely related to the hermit crab and costs about half as much as lobster does per pound. At the world-famous Nathan's in Coney Island, Brooklyn, the lobster salad sandwich we tested came back as this guy, whiting, a much cheaper fish that certainly doesn't look like lobster. Rocco DiSpirito says restaurants are under pressure to keep costs down, but that's still no excuse.
If you say seafood roll, then it's okay that you put some of this in there.
But you would call it seafood roll.
Exactly.
Not lobster roll.
I would make the distinction, or you could say lobster and seafood roll. You definitely want your customers to know.
I'm Lisa Guerrero with Inside Edition. At this restaurant called Get Hooked outside Tampa, the lobster in their lobster roll also came back as whiting.
Okay, well that looks like a piece of shit though. Look at this, dude. What is that? It's so sad.
People, I did not purposely rip the public off. Like
the owner says he makes his lobster rolls with a frozen mixture called Lobster Sensations that he buys from an outside vendor. It has lobster, but it's also filled with other cheaper fish like whiting and pollock.
This looks like it's from fucking Costco.
Is, on the menu, it doesn't say that there's any other fish except lobster in your lobster.
Okay, if you want to get technical, yes, you're absolutely right.
Manhattan's Little Italy is the go-to neighborhood for great seafood, but we wondered what was in the lobster ravioli. At Sophia's, our lab found no lobster, just, are you ready for this? Cheese. I'm Lisa Guerrero with Inside Edition. Hello?
Oh, I ignored it.
Guess he didn't want to talk to us about his lobster ravioli. And what about...
Guys, all these guys are such actual noobs. At least you can talk to her, dude, about other shit. Maybe ask her for a number. I don't know.
Want to talk to us about his
you don't have to answer the
lobster
question.
ravioli. And what about Soup Man? That's the place made famous in the Seinfeld Soup Nazi episode.
No soup for you.
It's even better. Okay, I feel like it's just better if you just. It's not like a troll, but what if you just talk to them about something else?
It's supposed to have the best soup in New York City. Guess what? Our test showed that the lobster bisque was loaded with the real thing, lobster.
No soup for you.
We spoke to actor Larry Thomas, who played the so-called soup Nazi.
Our soup can only be the best if we have the right real ingredients.
He's got that right.
Are you kidding me? That is so good.
Isn't it?
Nothing beats the real thing.
Now, Red Lobster told us their lobster bisque can contain meat from Maine lobster, langostino lobster, or a combination of both. As for Nathan's, they told us...
Ow, my ear just died! Fuck me, dude.
Interesting.
Okay. Some of those are pretty interesting, yeah. They're actually pretty interesting. Talk off soon, brother. Probably soon, yeah. I'm just waiting for food to come in. But if food is gonna be too late, dude, then we're not gonna do that. Okay, what is all about food?